Hello everybody, my name is Adamel Productions and welcome to my what it should be, unless I don't upload this at time, but this should be my first ever video on YouTube, which is very exciting for me. Okay, you can't see what I'm doing, but I'm currently waving my hands in sort of jazz hands formation to signify that I'm very excited for this. Yeah, so there's not really So really not much to say, but my first video is going to be a Doctor Who companion list, which I'm very excited about. I love Doctor Who. It's my whole life. No, it's not. It is one of my favorite TV shows, of course. I have been listening to a lot of the Big Finish ranges of late. There's some pretty good stuff on there, and by some pretty good stuff, I mean there's some amazing stuff. You should all check it out if you ever get the opportunity to. But for the first episode, I think that ranking the Doctor Who companions is a good idea. And it gives you a brief insight about what my channel might be like in the future if I put, say, Sarah Jane into the F tier, for example. Oh, imagine. Okay, so that delay, let's get started with Adam. Now, Adam, there's been a lot of shit slung at Adam's direction. When it comes to his sort of character, you know, he's not really a companion, he is a companion but it was really shit, or, you know, he's a companion but he was just there. He was only in for two stories, legitimately, Dalek and The Long Game, and he wasn't really as bad as people say he is, you know. A lot of people probably put him in D or F. I'm gonna put him into a solid C. You know, there's not really, you know, any other reason why he needs to be above or below. You know, he's just an okay character. Adric. I probably would say that I preferred Adam over Adric. Not that Adric, I haven't actually seen a lot of Adric that I mentioned. I've only seen him in the E-Space trilogy, Logopolis, and Earthshock, and that's really it. So he was okay in those stories. He wasn't spectacular or anything. I actually do still prefer Adam. So I know it's probably going to be heresy in a lot of people's eyes, but whatever. It's my ranking list. I will do whatever I want. You can't make me do what I don't want to anymore. Anyway. Okay, so now we have Amy. Oh, it took me a while to realize this too, but this is all arranged in alphabetical order too. So you have like River Song, Romana, Rory, Rose. I completely forgot Tosin Cole's character from series 11 and 12 because it's actually that boring shit. So Amy now. Amy, I would say, was definitely better in series 5 than series 6. Maybe even the series 7 as well. I know, series 6 was exactly a great season for Who overall, but I'll get that done in another story. She's probably definitely a solid B character. Not really anything above. Not really anything below either. Definitely prefer her over Adam and Adric, but that's really it. Barbara. I have only seen the first episode of An Unearthly Child, so I'd hardly call it fair if I were to rank her. And I think that's I can't remember this guy's name, I'm sorry. Bill. I have not seen any of series 10, so Bill is going into the blue category too. The Brigadier. Now, I have seen, okay, I should probably get this out of the way. I have been currently binging 70s and 80s Who. It is very, very good. I have all the DVDs on my shelf over here. I'm talking as if I'm looking on my shelf. You guys can't see it. But I have every single surviving story of Who. Even series 11 and 12, but that's another story for another day. And from what I have seen from the Brigadier in season 7, which is one of the earliest seasons of classic Who I have actually seen in its entirety, the 5 Doctors, Terror of the Autons, and a couple of others. Yeah, he's a pretty solid guy. I would say I prefer Amy over the Brigadier, but it's not really that much of a pushing and pulling contest. Oh yeah, sorry. I did also take a look at this ranking list, but it does not have any of the classic companions, nor the Big Finish ones, which the Big Finish ones is what I'm really excited for. Kerrers. I do like Kerrers, even if Big Finish really did sort of shoot him in the foot really early on. And I don't mean that in a bad way. Actually, I do mean that in a bad way. I mean that they didn't really do his character justice. They did have a genuinely interesting companion in Kerrers, especially towards spoiler alert. I'll try to keep the spoiler free, but towards the end of his tenure on the 8th Doctor range, he did have a pretty interesting story arc going on, which doesn't really go anywhere in the end, which is a damn right shame. So he you know, I completely forget. I completely forgot who actually plays Kerrers. It's sorry, I'll just grab my phone real quickly. What's the first story? The Next Life. Oh, Conrad Westmist, that's it. So Conrad Westmist as Kerrers does do a wonderful job. You know, I do really believe he's an alien. I won't say any more than that, but he didn't really get the attention that he probably deserved in the 8th Doctor run. So I would say I prefer him over Adric, but probably not over Adam. I'd say that's fair. Now, Captain Jack Harkness. Now, for this, I am going to include both the Torchwood range of Big Finish, the Torchwood TV show, as well as Doctor Who. And he is definitely better than Brigadier, but I'm not sure. Probably better than Amy. Definitely better than Brigadier. It's definitely B, maybe even A. Well, actually, probably not an A. Actually, definitely worth a B. Not really worth any more though, from what I can gather. I have seen all of Torchwood, and I've also almost finished all of Torchwood and Big Finish, both of which are really good, except for the Torchwood stuff of the TV show, which I'll get to a bit later on. But yeah, I think he's a solid B character. Charlotte Pollard. I have listened to all of Charlotte Pollard. I have listened to all of Charlotte Pollard on Big Finish. She's another really good character that they've done. And I definitely say I prefer her. I think that she is probably the definition of a good B character. You know, better than Amy, better than Captain Jack, better than... Oh, actually, I would say by the standard, then Captain Jack would definitely go after Amy. They'll go Charlotte, then Amy, and then Jack, then Amy, then the Brigadier. I think that's Dodo. I haven't seen Dodo in anything, so yeah, spoiler alert. A lot of the 60s companions I will not have known. So basically anything that's in black and white, no, thank you. Donna Noble, I think we all know where she goes. She's fantastic in Series 4. The Russell T Davies didn't really do a service to a character in the End of Time, but Series 4 is honestly Donna. Donna is just fantastic. What else is there to say? I probably would put her up in the S territory, but that's reserved for a special someone, Evelyn Smythe. Now, Maggie Stables as Evelyn Smythe and 60, you cannot beat. I will harp on about this for ages, but in all the TV shows, all the TV stories, and all the Big Finish stories, I don't think they have managed to create a companion Doctor duo better than Evelyn Smythe and 60. They have come really close with, say, 10 and 4, but I would say that not 10 and 4, 10 and Donna, but I would say that out of the companion archetype, Evelyn Smythe is fantastic. You know, she puts in a great performance in all of her stories, even if the stories do somewhat let their characters down. Even if her companion exit in a certain story that I probably shouldn't mention because there'll be spoilers, she was, you know, it was a bit of a letdown, it was a bit anticlimactic, but at the same time, she's fucking fantastic. You cannot beat Evelyn Smythe as the best companion. Grace Holloway. So I'm gonna burp, I think. I can't tell. Almost. So Grace Holloway. I have only seen the TV movie. I have not heard any of her stuff on Big Finish, but I think the TV movie gives me a good representation of what she's like. I'd say she's probably a really low B character. I would definitely prefer all of these other companions over to Grace, but that's probably because of TV screen time and all that. Which is a really big shame too, because I think with the companion trio of 8, Charlie Sato, not Charlie, that's not Charlie, I think Charlie Sato is the actor, isn't he? No, Yi Jitsu is the actor. And Charlie is the character. Oh, please tell me I'm right. No, Charlie, so yeah, okay, yeah, I just had to Google when the Companion Chronicles in. Yeah, so that's okay. So, sorry, yeah, you know, they had a really good trio that I could really get behind between 8, Charlie, and Grace Holloway. As we all know, that never came to be. Graham. Definitely either a high D or a low C. This is one of the few rare instances where I definitely would prefer Adric over another companion, but then again, Chibnall's era of who has been, you know, relatively shit. There's no denying it. It's just not that good. And I think one of the big reasons why is the companions. Now, the companions are by no means bad. They are written very by the book. Not even by the book. You know, there's basic stuff about their characters that they think that they can just swap in and out. And, you know, we're going to get to that, I think, when it comes to Tosin Cole's character, who I can't remember the name of, so that should give you a really big indication of where he's probably going to go. You know, I think the acting... Graham O'Brien, played by Bradley Walsh, that's it. Graham O'Brien, played by Bradley Walsh, you know, is pretty good. But honestly, as far as acting can go, there's only so much you could do with a bad script. So he's definitely got to go in a low C or a high D. I can't really figure that out. Harry Sullivan. I have seen all of series, season 12, sorry, and Terror of the Autons. He's pretty good. I like him. Probably be better over Grace. Probably better than the Brigadier. Probably not better than Amy though. I think between Amy and the Brigadier is where I sort of draw the line. Hex. I actually have only just started the 7 Ace and Hex storyline on Big Finish. I've only listened to a few stories from the monthly range with him in it. I think that's like everything from what is that? The Harvest. So I'm going through the monthly range right now to find this. So yeah, the Harvest, not Unregenerate, Live 34. That's the Harvest, Dreamtime, and Live 34. Those are the only 3 stories that I've heard him in. It would probably not be very fair if I were to go ahead and rank them based on those 3 stories. Sorry, you're black and white. Sorry, you're black and white. Joe Grant. I have only seen a few stories with Joe. That's no, that's not Terror of the Autons, sorry. I just gotta correct myself here. Terror of the Zygons, not Terror of the Autons. This is Terror of the Zygons. Autons, sorry, Terror of the Autons. What am I doing? My brain is shutting down on me. Terror of the Autons. So, Terror of the Autons is a... Terror of the Autons and the Mind of Evil. I think those are the only 2 stories I've only seen Joe Grant in. I have seen her... I haven't seen her, sorry. I know she was in Masterful. I have listened to Masterful. I thought she was quite good in that. She was really good in that. But apart from that, I don't think I've actually listened to or seen her in anything else. So I think this is going to be one of those rare occasions where I'm going to have to put another character into here. Yeah, once again, I'm probably going to be too fat of base to try and rank her if I haven't seen any of her, like a lot of her stories. You know, I'm going through my phone right now, once again, to see how many stories I've actually seen. So yeah, Terror of the Autons and then The Mind of Evil, and that's it. Those are the only two stories I've actually seen her in, and I've only seen her and listened to her in Masterful. Yates, I have not seen enough of Yates to be able to rank him. Neither with K9, neither with Chameleon. You know, the two robots of the show, I have not seen anything of. You're black and white, so you're going away. Leela. Now, this is going to be one of those rare exceptions where I probably am going to rank someone despite me not having seen a lot of their TV appearances. I have seen the Talons of Len Chiang. I watched it with my dad on BritBox, and I have listened to a lot of her stuff with Big Finish. Big Finish is definitely probably what I associate Leela with a lot. And she's pretty good. She's not outstanding or anything, but I like Leela so far. I reckon she's characterized pretty well. You know, played by Louise Jameson. You know, she does a wonderful job as Leela. So I don't think she's definitely better than Brigadier, but probably not better than Harry Sullivan. Rory was a pretty good character, even if he was a bit of a punching bag in his sort of own right. Which is a shame too. I really want to put Rory higher than a C. I can't really feel myself putting him above Grace. So yeah, probably a high C would be at the new benchmark. Lucy Miller. Okay, to give you guys some context about how far into the 8th Doctor range I am, I actually finished Dark Eyes box set 3 on my way home from work tonight. You know, you probably saw what time I'm recording this. It's 10:42 at night. So now, obviously, I have listened to all of Lucy Miller's adventures except for the short trips and the further adventures. She's pretty good. You know, played by... shit, this is another one I need to Google. Sheridan Smith. You know, she's played wonderfully by Sheridan Smith. But sometimes I think her character is a bit overshadowed or a bit overlooked. She doesn't really feel like she's really living up to her potential as a character, as a companion, which is a shame. So definitely above, maybe even, this is going to be heresy for me doing this, and I know I've already caused a bit of shit already because I have said this before, but Lucy Miller, To the Death, are completely overrated. On Big Finish, you know, I do not get the hype. I listened to them both back to back. I've thought that To the Death was actually pretty boring. But yeah, which is a shame too, because she had a pretty good run with her 8th Doctor adventures. So probably a very low B for me. Because I definitely do prefer Charlie as a Big Finish companion with 8. And maybe even Grace to Lucy. I don't know, Lucy just feels like she belongs to another Doctor. Like, I really like her and 8 together. But it's a bit like... You know, was 8 and Lucy really the best companion duo they could really come up with at the time? Alright, so Martha. I really like Martha Jones. She's portrayed wonderfully by Freema Agyeman. You know, doesn't put in a single bad performance except for maybe a few times. But even then, you know, she's pretty well-rounded as both a portrayal And writing, I'm probably not writing actually. Writing was pretty dull in some places because of the whole rebound arc in series 3. So how would I rate Martha? Definitely better than Grace, definitely better than the Brigadier and Leela. Oh, that's not it. Definitely better than Harry. I'm feeling, honestly, in between Harry and Amy. Because, oh, I don't know. I think Martha Jones, portrayed by Fiona Ashman, is probably. I can't say it like that. I think it is a bit better than Amy, but once again, these two are basically neck and neck. Mel, I have only seen 2 stories with Mel. That is Terror of the Vervoids and oh shit, what's the final story in the Trial of a Time Lord? The Ultimate Foe, that's it. Had to look back on my DVDs. But I have listened to a lot of her stuff on Big Finish, so I think I can comfortably rate her. And yes, I do count the Trial of a Time Lord as one continuous story too. I just thought I might split that into 2 for the sake of ranking her. So she's not that bad of a character. I have only seen her in Trial of a Time Lord, so she could be completely different in season 24. But it's based on what I have seen of her so far, she probably is a C character. She's not bad, but she's definitely probably not better than Lucy. In fact, I might even be a bit bold and put Lucy Miller as the new C archetype and put Mel over between these two. I think that works pretty well. Mickey. Now, I really like Mickey on the show. Even if he is treated like a bit of a tin dog every now and then, is a reference to here. I think he does have some pretty good character moments in there. Based on his few stories, not Nardole Smith. I forgot who portrayed Mickey. It's like Nardole something. Anyway, whatever. I think he probably is a low B character, honestly, because I do prefer him over Lucy. And probably wouldn't prefer him over Grace Holloway though. Actually, I probably would prefer him over Grace, but that's not really by a long shot. I think that's Benton. I think I do have not listened to a lot of this stuff. Apologies if I got that wrong. Okay, black and white, 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 black and white. Yeah, that's it. That's it. Molly O'Sullivan. That is Molly, right? I'm gonna be fucking lynched by people if I get that wrong. I do like Molly. I know a lot of people grind their teeth when they hear Ruth Bradley play Molly O'Sullivan. But from the 3 Dark Eyes box sets that she has been in, she's been really good. Not great, but good. Probably even a mid-B tier good. Definitely over Harry. Definitely better than Amy, but probably not better than Martha. I think Martha is just a bit more of a well-rounded character than her subordinate here. Nardole, I have not seen Series 10, so I can't rank you, sorry. Okay, this is gonna be another one of those Big Finish reliant ones, but Nissa. I do like Nissa. I think that her stuff in the TV show, I have seen The Keeper of Traken, and Logopolis, and Earthshock. Those are the only 3 TV stories I've seen her in. But I listened to a lot of her Big Finish stuff, and because of that, I am gonna actually rank her. I think she's definitely better than Grace. Probably not better than Mickey though, actually, now that I think about it. Because I can't see her being better than the Brigadier or Leela. I think a low B is a pretty comfortable place for her, honestly. Perry. Listing them off now. Kaz Vandrazani. Hang on, I started to think about this. Kaz Vandrazani, Revelation of the Daleks. The Mysterious Planet. Mind Warp, and a lot of her Big Finish stuff, so yeah, I'll probably definitely will rank her. So, Perry's pretty good in both. You know, Nicola Bryan, you know, she basically slipped expertly back to the role with Whispers of Terror. She's, you know, she's fantastic. I can't really fault any of her, most of her acting. I think there has been a couple of times where I've been a bit like, oh, that's been a bit of a stilted delivery, or maybe she could have done that a bit better. I think for a character, probably before Nissa. No, actually, I think after Nissa would be better. Not before. Oh, actually, maybe. Oh dear. Oh no. Oh, thank God. Whoopsie. Probably after. No, probably before Mickey, but after Nissa. I think that's fair. Liz Shaw. Definitely. Well, I probably put before Donna actually, because I do sort of prefer Donna over Liz. Season 7 is hands down one of my absolute favorite seasons of the show altogether. You know, she's fantastic in every single story, including Inferno, which is one of my favorite stories of all time. It's legitimately that good. And so is Liz Shaw, which is a shame because she was only in for 4 stories. And then she was, I believe Carolyn John was written out because she was pregnant, I think. I could be wrong about that. But, fun fact, she actually married Jeffrey Beavers, who plays the Master. That's something of interest to note, that her final story, the story right afterwards, her husband, not her husband, because that's played by someone else. Sorry, Roger Delgado. Okay, yeah, I'm getting my masters mixed up at the moment. Yeah, Liz Shaw, honestly, yeah, well done. Her portrayal in Season 7 is fantastic as one of Unit's scientific staff. Some of her Big Finish stuff is pretty good too, but you can't beat the likes of, you know, the Ambassadors of Death or Inferno, Doctor Who and just Silence. It's just that good. River Song. Oh, this is gonna be a bit of a contentious one. I have. Okay, how do I put this? I have listened to the first season of the Diary of a Song Big Finish, but I need to re-listen to it because I can't actually remember that much of it. I have seen a lot of her stuff in the show. I don't believe I've seen everything yet. I am still making my way through a lot of it because I did stop watching for a little while. But from her appearances so far, oh, and the 10th Doctor and River Song stuff with Big Finish too. I think she's probably comfortably a high C. The problem is that I think, you know, you take a look at these characters, you know, all the characters here I think are really well grounded. Like Evelyn, Donna, Liz, Charlie. Probably not Jack, but a lot of these characters are really well rounded and grounded. And take a look at my C characters, you know, they're all just sort of more loose cannons, you know, like River Song, Mel. That's probably really it. I don't know, you can definitely tell which sort of companion archetype I prefer. Romana Mark 1, I have not actually seen a lot of. I have not seen any of Mary Tam's portrayal of her in TV show. I know she played in, like, I think it like just a season or something. But I have listened to a single story, the Auntie Matter by Big Finish, and I absolutely loved. Not great or anything, but I liked it. So sorry, Mary Tam. Romana Mark II. Now this is going to be a different story. Like I said, I've seen the entirety of the E-Space trilogy. That's really it from her character. So, but I have listened to a lot of her stuff in the Gallifrey range of Big Finish, which the first 3 seasons of which are probably one of my favorite, one of my favorite sprints of all time. You know, it's fantastic, genuinely. So honestly, if we're basing it off of Gallifrey, because you know, I think shit, who plays Romana again? God, like I said, it's almost 11 o'clock at night for me. I need to Google some of this stuff. So here we go, Gallifrey. Lala Ward, that's it. Lala Ward, I think some of her stuff is good. Sometimes I think she's a bit bored with the character, you know, just sort of doing it just to get over it done with. But apart from that, her portrayal of it's pretty solid and consistent throughout. So if we go probably low B, because her stuff in the E-Space trilogy is all solid, and if we're basing off the first 3 seasons of Gallifrey, yeah, once again, really solid. Oh yeah, sorry, I forgot to mention Louise Jameson as part of Gallifrey too. If we're basing off some of her stuff recently, like Gallifrey seasons 4 to 6, Enemy Lines, Intervention Earth, and the Timeless stuff, I want to really be able to fault her because this writing is a bit bad, but I probably would put her in maybe even a low C, to be honest. And that's a real shame because it's not her fault, it's the writing's fault. I do think Lala Ward does sometimes have a stunted delivery or something that she could have gone a bit better. But overall, she's pretty good. Rose. So, I do definitely prefer Series 1 Rose over Series 2 Rose. Series 1 of One and Who is my favorite season of One and Who straight up. And, you know, that's mostly in part due to, not mostly in part due to Rose, you know, there's a lot of other stuff, but Rose is a pretty big indicator as to that. So, but I also have to include her stuff in Series 2. I probably will include Rose Tyler and the Dimension Kenner in there, which will probably bump her up a few paces. But I think she, because of Series 2, she's gonna be a high C. And it's such a shame too, because, you know, I really did want to like Rose. But Series 2 was just such a bit of a loose cannon, you know, misfire when it came to her character. Oh god, honestly, just less said the better. His acting is boring. Tosin Cole is boring. The character does nothing. It's honestly, it's just abysmal. Yeah, just abysmal. Sarah Jane Smith. I know a lot of people love Sarah Jane Smith, and I can't fault them as to why. Excuse me. You know, I haven't seen any of her stuff with John Pertwee, but I know Elizabeth Sladen does do really good stuff with Tom Baker. You know, I've seen season 12 and everything else up to the pyramids. I think it's the Pyramids of Mars. So I'm looking at my DVD collection again. Yeah, Pyramids of Mars. So, you know, she's pretty solid. But I do think she is a bit overrated. So definitely over Romana. Definitely over Grace. Definitely over Mickey. Probably not Mickey. I probably am overrating Mickey a bit, but I don't know. Definitely over Perry. So I'd say definitely a sort of mid to low B character is pretty, I think, is which probably her best outlook. So okay, so another thing is that once we get into the sort of comic book stuff, or some of the latest stuff about Big Finish, I will not get. I do know Bernie Summerfield. Sorry, I need to look up what the penguin's name is again. Frobisher, that's it. I do know Frobisher. I know Livchenko. That's it. Hex is in here twice. Okay. I have listened to. Okay, you know what? I'll just do this now. I don't know who this is. I think I know who that is. I have to check. Whatever. Whatever. Have not know. Do 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 know. Do not know. Do not know. Do not know. Do not know. Who are you? Do not know. I think that's part of the company of friends. Yep, that's part of the company of friends. That is Fitz. I have only listened to Fitz's story, so I probably shouldn't really do anything with that. Do not know, do not know, do not know. 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 Do not know, do not know, do not know. I think that's Araman. Clara, Ace, or Dorothy McShane. Ugh. Tolo, Tegan. I feel like I should know. Is that Tamsin Drew? I think that is Tamsin. Yeah, that's Tamsin Drew. Okay. So, now that we've cut down that list to a rather reasonable chunk, sorry, 60s Who and some of 70s and some of later modern Who and Big Finish and the comic books. So, did I get to rank any other character? Yeah. Tamsin Drew. Tamsin. Okay, I will spoil Paul McGann's 4th season of the new 8th Doctor Adventures for this. Tamsin Drew, I think, was a pretty decent character. She was a nice step above Lucy. Without being, probably not a step above is not the right word. She was a nice change of pace, I think is a better term. Because she, you know, she was an actor, you know, she was able to use these different abilities to what Lucy was. Basically what Lucy was. Lucy was bold and brash, and Tamsin, you know, up until the end, her temporary end of what story she supposedly is supposed to live in, you know, she's actually pretty good. She's only in for a couple stories before she comes back. Spoiler alert. But yeah, she was pretty good. Probably not better than Lucy. Probably not even a B, honestly. But yeah, honestly, I can't really fault. Nikki Worley did a really good job. But the thing is, I think that just season 4 of the 8th Doctor Adventures is just overrated. You know, it gets all this high praise, but it's just it's good. But I feel like people just rave on way too much about it. So definitely better than this heap of shit. Probably not better. Probably better than Graham. Definitely better than Graham. Definitely better than Adric. Definitely better than all of these guys. But not better than Lucy. Yeah, honestly, I think they're pretty on par. They're both pretty good. In fact, now I think about it, I think it's a bit too harsh to put them both into C. I think it would really low B, mid, high C. I think a low B is probably where these characters belong. Tegan. Oh, this is probably another one I should probably actually seen and not seen or heard enough of. Because I have only seen Logopolis and Resurrection of the Daleks. So I've seen her first and her last stories on the show. Once again, pretty solid character. Tegan, Tegan Jovenka, you know, pretty good. Portrayed by just another one. Tegan. I could just do this. Cobwebs, because I know this one. Janet Fielding, that's it. So Janet Fielding does a really good job as Tegan Jovenka. You know, even if her companion exit and resurrection is really half baked, I think I'm gonna have to put her in. Not seen or heard enough of. Turlo. Based on what I have listened to Turlo of so far, honestly, Mark Strickson does do a really good Turlo. I think occasionally he does give a stilted delivery, but he's pretty solid from what I've listened to so far. Once again, Resurrection is the only story that I've seen him in. So if you go, definitely, probably, I would say about a high C, a very high C, because I do think he's better than Rose and River. Probably not better than Nikki though. Ugh, D. Honestly, no. Because in series 12, I think Chris Chibnall knew that he fucked up the core cast of his crew based on what series 11 had for them, which is why he tried to distill so much into Yaz. But the problem is that everything he's done just feels really stilted, really fake, just doesn't sit right. So I think she's gonna have to go before Tozen. Because once again, at least she can act. Whoever plays Yasmin Khan, which I am gonna have to Google very quickly. Yasmin Khan, Doctor Who. I can't see it. Mandip Gill, that's it. So Mandip Gill does do a fairly decent job, but honestly, her character in the show is just so flat and boring. I just can't even. Season 26 is, I think, one of my favorite seasons of the show, mostly in part due to Ace and a lot of stuff on Big Finish. Not fantastic or anything, probably not going to be in A territory. But yeah, she's pretty solid, so I would put her above all of these guys. But I probably would stop at Sarah Jane, because I do think I prefer Sarah Jane over Ace. Clara. Actually, no, I have not seen a lot of Clara stuff on Doctor Who. I'm trying to think about this, but yeah. Clara is okay from what I've seen so far. Not amazing or anything, but let's just keep it that way for the time being. Aramem, I think gets a really bad end of the stick, which is a shame because it's mainly the writing that lets her character down from her stories. From what I've been listening to so far, her character has, I think so far, the weakest range in the monthly range so far, which is nothing to say of Caroline Morris as Aramem. The big problem with it is that what she has in regards to stories, it's just not really great. You know, her first story, The Eye of the Scorpion, just felt really dragged out for the sake of it. The Church and the Crown is probably one of the only exceptions. You know, I don't really know why I like the Church and the Crown, but it's pretty good. Necromantia, once again, just felt like it was dragged out for the sake of it. Going through a bit more again. Sorry, I'm just trying to find the next. Acts of Insanity is pretty good. Reef of the World, I actually really like too. But apart from that, most of her other stories were just pretty bland. Three's a Crowd, yeah, really forgettable. Council of Nicaea, yeah, that's the same. So I think Aramem's gonna have to stay in like a mid to low C. I think after Adric, but before Keres. PC Andy Davidson. Based on the TV show and the actual range of torture and a big finish, I am actually confident in. Oh, sorry, excuse me. I'm actually confident in putting him in a like a high C or a low B. Probably high C would be better. Probably yeah, in between Rose and Riverstorm's pretty good. You know, his stuff and Torture is pretty good, but could be a bit better. That's really it. Honestly, I can't really think of much else. Bernice Summerfield. Bernice Summerfield was pretty good. I have started binging on a lot of her stuff on Big Finish. I've listened to the first series, and I think it's The Dragon's Wrath. Apart from that, she doesn't really have a lot of standout stories. No, that's not it. Not The Dragon's Wrath. It's something, or rather, something Wrath. So I'll just type in Wrath actually. You know, her first couple of stories on Big Finish are not really anything to... Yeah, it's just called Dragon's Wrath. There aren't really anything of note, which is a shame. You know, the first story, Oh No, isn't... It's probably one of the best things I've ever listened to. You know, it has an incredibly strong first half, but the second half sort of lets it down a bit, which is a shame. Bernice Summerfield does have some really good stuff with the Doctor and her own range. But I don't think I'd be able to put her really that much any higher. Definitely over RMM, definitely over Keres, definitely over Adam and Rory. Probably in between Mel and Rory, honestly. I can't really think of anything else. Frobisher. I have listened to all of Frobisher's stuff in Big Finish, so I think I probably should be able to rank him. He's pretty good. He's definitely... I have not read any of his comic books. I haven't done really a lot of anything else with Frobisher apart from like the Holy Terror. That's Robert Jezik. So yeah, the Maltese Penguin. Wait, wasn't Robert Jezik the guy who played the pseudo antagonist in the Case of Vengerzani? I need to Google this very quickly. Case of Vengerzani. Trucks. Oh no, it's Christopher Gable as Sharaz Jack. Sorry, that's my fault. So yeah, he's pretty good. Definitely wasted potential because we didn't really get anything else apart from the 3 stories of the Holy Terror, the Ratings War, and the Maltese Penguin. But from what I have seen, he was actually pretty damn good. I'm probably doing a really big disservice to the Lucy fans at the moment. But I don't know, Lucy just didn't really feel compelling as a character. She didn't really change as the show went on. Like, she did have some really good moments with her quote-unquote auntie. But apart from that, there wasn't really anything that made Lucy stick out to me. Liv Chenka. Like I said, first 3 box sets of Dark Eyes, but I haven't seen Robophobia or anything else after that. Actually, no, I have listened to Stranded, and Stranded was pretty good. Stranded was pretty good. Sorry, Stranded was okay. I bumped my microphone. So, from what I have listened to, she hasn't been anything extravagant, really. Probably maybe about a mid C, so definitely better than Graham, Adric, RMM, Kara's Adam, probably not Brenda Rory. And last but not least, Rebecca Root's character, who is Tanya Bell. Okay. No, I have not listened to a lot of Tanya Bell stuff. So that's it. Soon, I'll probably do an updated version of this when I go through 62, 72, 82, Big Finish, and all Modern Who. But for the time being, yeah, this is my list. Thank you again for watching. Feel free to leave your suggestions or comments in the comment section down below. Leave a like on the video. Tell me how I'm wrong. Tell me, mock me for my choices if I made something stupid or did something that made you angry, whatever. I don't care. Tell me your opinions in comments below, and I will leave a link to the site down below. In the meantime, thanks again for watching my first video. I will be doing more stuff like this in the future. I'll probably do other TV shows as well. I'll do rankings, I'll do commentaries, reviews, all of this and all of that. And in the meantime, I'll catch you later.